Far below the boundless sapphire sea, there lay a kingdom called Ravalis. It was a land of laughter and peace, where the merfolk danced among gardens of sea lilies. Yet not every life in Ravalis was touched by joy. Deep within the outer villages, where the light dimmed and the waters grew cooler, lived a young merman named Dukan, an orphan whose story was known by all, but loved by none. His parents had died in a great sea storm when he was 16. From that day, the villagers who should have sheltered him turned their faces away. They whispered that he was cursed, that wherever he went, misfortune followed. He lived alone in a small coral hut, built by his father's hands, eating little, speaking less, and working endlessly to tend the few sea plants that grew by his window. He hunted to survive, his hands rough from the coral nets he wove, and though he was poor, there was a quiet nobility in his eyes, a kind of light that no darkness could drown. But the villagers did not see it, his empty home, his solitary life. They said, "Look at Dukan, the beggar of the deep, the merman no mermaid will ever love." And though their words stung like salt upon wounds, he never spoke back. He simply smiled and swam away, his heart aching for a love he had never known. Meanwhile, far beyond the blue horizons, where the waters shimmered with silver light, and the currents sang softly through golden reefs, lay another kingdom, Orlith. It was a realm of wonder, famed across the seas for its eternal peace and beauty. The royal palace of Orlith was carved from moonstone and crystal, its halls glowing with pearls so bright that even the darkest depths could not dim their light. There, upon a throne of coral gold, ruled King Lucien Theros, a wise but stern monarch, and once beside him had sat Queen Miralyn, gentle and kind, whose passing left a hollow space in the hearts of all who loved her. But none grieved her more deeply than their only daughter, Princess Luna. Princess Luna was a marvel beneath the sea. Her tail shimmered like 1,000 sapphires under sunlight. Her hair flowed like silk spun from the night sky, and her eyes were deep and bright as the stars above the waves. She was loved by her people, desired by countless noble mermen, yet none could reach the heart that beat beneath her crown. She dreamed not of power but of peace, of love that was simple and true. Yet fate had other plans. The king's dearest friend, Lord Ostar, was a merman of great influence, a billionaire in cunning. He had one son, Zukarian, strong, cold, and feared. Whispers said that wherever Zukarian went, silence followed. He ruled his father's soldiers with iron and blood, and no one dared defy him. And yet, in a moment of blindness, King Lucian promised his daughter's hand to Zukarian, sealing an alliance that would bring both families immense power. When Luna heard the news, she felt her heart tear apart. She ran to her father's chamber, her voice trembling. "Father, please, I cannot marry him. His name strikes fear in every heart. You know what they say, he is cruel, he is heartless. Please, Father, they seek not love, but your throne. Can't you see?" The king's face hardened like stone. "Enough, Luna. You will marry Zukarian. My word is final." Tears filled Luna's eyes as she fell to her knees. "Father, I beg you, Mother would never have wanted this. You are trading my happiness for peace built on fear." "Enough!" the king thundered. "Your mother is gone. I will do what is best for the kingdom." That night, in the still silence of her chamber, Luna pressed her face against her mother's picture and wept until her heart felt hollow. "Mother," she whispered, "they think riches bring joy, but I have never been so poor. If only you were here to guide me. If only love was not bound by thrones." For many nights she sat by the window, staring into the dark waters, and one night, as moonlight shimmered through the sea, she made her choice. "I will leave this kingdom," she whispered. "I will go where no one knows me. I will find peace, even if I have to lose everything." She called her personal maid, Clarith, a gentle soul who had served her since childhood. "Clarith, I am leaving Orlith tonight," Luna said softly. "You must tell no one." Clarith gasped. "Princess, they will hunt you. If they find out, they will punish me. The king will punish me." "I know," Luna interrupted, her eyes steady. But you must promise me, swear on your life, that you will not reveal where I go." "I swear," ThinkRtisT said, trembling. And so they sealed their promise in the old way. They pricked their fingers and let their blood fall into a shell, whispering, "If truth is betrayed, may silence claim the tongue." That night, Luna disguised herself as a poor mermaid, her jewels left behind, and swam out into the open sea. The water was cold, the night vast, and yet her heart beat with freedom. She swam for hours, her body aching, her tail bruised by the currents. The stars above flickered dimly through the waves, guiding her to the unknown. When the first light of dawn touched the ocean, she saw it, the coral towers of Ravaelis, glimmering faintly in the distance. It was humbler than her kingdom, quieter, but it felt warm, alive, real. When she reached the outskirts, she found a small coral hut at the edge of the village and decided to live there. She disguised herself as a poor wanderer, her once radiant hair tied in a rough braid. Days passed and hunger grew. She went from home to home, knocking on doors, begging for a little food, but every door slammed shut. The villagers called her names: beggar, wanderer, outcast. Still she endured, her heart heavy with the weight of her choice, until one day she knocked on a door, and it opened to a pair of kind eyes, Dukan's eyes. He stood holding a small plate of rice, his face surprised, yet gentle. "Beautiful stranger," he said softly, "how may I help you?" "I am hungry," Luna whispered. "I haven't eaten for days. Please help me." Dukan looked down at his plate. It was barely enough for one. He hesitated, then smiled faintly. "It's not much, but you can have it." Luna blinked, stunned. "But you haven't eaten yet. Why would you give it to me?" "Because you need it more than I do." She looked at him, and in that moment, something inside her heart stirred, something pure and unfamiliar. "Then let's share it," she said softly. "Half for you, half for me." They sat together inside his hut, the walls faintly glowing with the light of tiny sea crystals. As they ate, their laughter filled the room, soft and unsure at first, then real and bright. The ocean seemed to hum around them, as though blessing their meeting. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months. Luna helped Dukan with his nets. He taught her how to tend sea plants and chase fish through coral paths. The villagers mocked them, calling them the two hungry beggars, but they didn't care. For the first time in her life, Luna felt what she had never known: peace. One night, as they sat watching the glowing reefs, Dukan turned to her. "You are not like anyone here," he said quietly. "There is something in your eyes, something different." Luna smiled. He reached for her hand. "No matter where you come from, I will always be your friend." Back in Aurolith, King Lucian's patience ran out. He sent messengers to every corner of the kingdom. His voice echoed through the currents. "Whoever finds Princess Luna, if you are a mermaid, I will grant you half my treasures. If you are a merman, you shall marry her and be heir to my throne." When Clarith heard this decree, her heart twisted. She remembered her promise, but temptation whispered. "If I tell him where she is," she thought, "I will be rewarded." But then she remembered her oath with the princess. The next day, she fled Aurolith, swimming day and night until she reached Ravaelis. When she saw Luna, she fell to her knees. "Princess, forgive me. The king has decreed, whoever finds you shall marry you and rule beside you." Luna froze, her mind racing. "If that is true," she whispered, "then perhaps this is our chance." That night, she told Dukan everything: her escape, her father's decree. He sat in silence for a long while, the ocean outside their hut whispering softly. "So," he said finally, "you are a princess, and you lied to me." "No," she said, tears in her eyes. "I hid the truth because I had to. But everything I have ever said to you, every moment we shared, that was real." He looked at her, and the anger faded from his face. "Then we will make your father believe in that truth," he said quietly. Together, they planned carefully. Luna would pretend to be weak, wounded, and lost. Dukan would rescue her and bring her home. The next morning, the sea was calm as they began their journey. Luna leaned against Dukan's chest, feigning exhaustion, while his strong arms carried her through the golden gates of the palace. When the guards saw them, they shouted, "The princess! The princess has returned!" The palace erupted in joy. King Lucian rushed forward, his face wet with tears. "My daughter! My child!" Dukan bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, I found her near the coral plains, weak and lost. I cared for her and brought her back." The king embraced Luna, crying openly, "Bless you, brave merman. Name your reward." Dukan shook his head. "I ask for nothing, my lord." It was enough to see her safe. The king smiled. "Then I shall choose your reward. From this day forth, you shall be the heir to my throne and husband to my daughter." The court gasped, but Luna only smiled, tears of joy falling from her eyes. Years passed, and when King Lucian died, the ocean mourned him. Dukean and Luna ascended the throne, ruling Orolith with kindness and love. Clarith, the palace maid, was rewarded with a home of her own. The mermaids of Ravelis, who once mocked Dukan, now sang songs of him, Dukan the kind, the merman whose heart conquered a crown. And on quiet nights, when the moon shone silver through the sea, Queen Luna would rest her head against her husband's chest and whisper, "You gave me freedom when I had nothing. You gave me love when I was lost." And Dukan would smile softly and reply, "And you gave my life meaning." And so they lived, not as rulers and subjects, not as rich and poor, but as two souls who found each other in the endless blue. They ruled with love and compassion,